What up, everyone? Justin Carey with you today. I don't know where this direction of this video is going to go, frankly. It's going to go off in many different tangents. I find that there's strength with sharing our weaknesses because too often we struggle with them ourselves, and we only find comfort and realization in hearing other people's journeys. So I want to just share with some real positive things that are going on in my life in the last week, which I thought could benefit some of you and could kind of give you some perspective. Again, I'm no guru. I'm a hypocrite. Like, I have sin in my life. I got problems just like all of you do as well. I have a crazy sense of humor, and oftentimes I get judged as a judger because I'm a Christian, but yeah, that goes with the territory. So why all of a sudden am I having some kind of like stir up in my life? Well, you probably saw because I've been preaching it, shouting from the rooftops, going, my social media, everything's came collapsing down. My Facebook got shut down, and it's injustice, and all this craziness happened. And yes, that was like 1 week ago, like literally a week ago. My life got turned upside down, and then it was gone for 24 hours, and then I did a update video as a just like it came back. And you can watch those prior videos if you want to get the progression of what happened and how it happened, because I don't want to rehash those details. But I was really, in that time where it was gone, reaching out to my God. And again, I know a lot of you that are watching this aren't Christians, and you have preconceived stereotypes of what Christians are. Just like I tell my conservative friends, you got to go in liberal media, and my liberal friends, you got to go to conservative media. We're forced fed some propaganda, and going straight to the source is probably where you need to go. So your anti-Christian preconceived ideas, do a little digging in there. You might be pleasantly surprised. But anyway, I was going, God, what, like, this happened for a reason. Like, what's going on? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to show me? Spent that day in prayer. Facebook was restored, and I didn't want to go back to how I was. Like, what is it? Like a dog returning to its vomit is like a fool who repeats his folly. I didn't want to get back into this cycle of going, all right, pedal to the metal, because most people I know, including me, are addicted to whatever forms of social media. You get scrolling, you get into... A lot of people get into comparison, like, why do they have these things? I don't. Or the outrage culture of like, look at what these people are doing, look what these people are doing, and always wanting a point. And I get it. I freaking get it, because I have those same things go through my head. But my problem with it was a form of income for me, so I could rationalize my incessant scrolling and posting as the way that I converse with people, buyers, sellers, whatnot, and I always got to be looking for the deals. Plus, my Facebook Messenger is on, like, I shut it off at night, but it's on from when I wake up till at night, and I get non-stop freaking messages, which is a blessing in a lot of regards, but it can also be a curse from, how much is this thing worth, or what does this thing go to? I'm like, I'd rather teach you how to fish than give you a fish all the time. And I politely guide people to eBay sold listings or the Facebook group Action Figure Identification. I've had a lot of meaningful conversations with people because many years ago I did a YouTube video called From Alcoholic to Toyaholic, where I shared my journey with alcoholism, and it resonated, got tens of, 50,000 views, whatever it is, probably above that now. And I would get weekly messages, and I still get messages frequently of people struggling with alcoholism and wanting to share their story or how to get out of it. And it became a good segue to talking with people. So I realized, again, there's strength in sharing each other's weakness, hence this video. And this is my journey that I'm going through, and let me just tell you. So I get to, the next day, Facebook's is restored, and I go, I don't want to go back to just pedal to the metal, scroll on Facebook, sell, deal with people all day, blah, 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 blah. And I go, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? And my wife has told me many times, like, set office hours, set, like, turn, and I'm like, whatever, like, I could justify it. I need to make money. I got a retaining wall that fell. It's $100,000. I got this problems. And in most marriages, people fight about either trust, which is not an issue in my marriage, or money, but I'm hyper-focused with money, so that becomes a point of contention where my wife's like, and I'm like, no! I like to think about my future self. I don't want my future self to be poor. Well, that day I'm like, okay, God, what do I need? And I downloaded an app called Hallowed, and it was a Bible study. So it's a Bible in a year guided study where you have a priest. I know it's Catholic, but I won't hold that against him. Sorry, my Catholic friends. My wife grew up Catholic. 800 subscribers just lost. Whoa. Anyway, I jest because nope, I'm not going into that. I like to tease my Catholic friends. Anyway, I normally use this Bible study where the priest goes off and reads the Bible, 3 sections of the Bible, and then kind of interprets it. It's 20 minutes. We pray. It's awesome. But I accidentally stumbled across that morning where I'm like, God, what? It's restored. Oh my gosh. A study called digital detox. And I'm like, that's what this all is. It's my addiction that I didn't even realize I had, my addiction to social media. And I go, all right, God, phase 1, activate, listen to it. Mind blown. Oh my gosh. Yes, I need to curb how I've been doing things, checking comments, getting pissed off at people that freaking throw shade at me, and I want to fight them in the comments because they're like, well, actually, this. I'm like, no, you're wrong. Like, I have this big sense of right and wrong, and I've also been listening to, I finished the book called Let Them. Let people be wrong. Like, people, even faced, and you see it in politics so much, even when faced with true evidence, nope, I'm right, you're wrong, and we get ingrained in our ideologies. And my ideology is Christian. Like, I don't call myself a conservative or liberal. Like, I have different values that fall into both categories, and I will be labeled, and we love to put each other in boxes. But my truth, my word, like, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt what is in the Bible is divine from God Almighty. And even when God came back down as Jesus, and he's like, listen, guys, this is what I'm trying to tell you. His own people were persecuting him. Other Christians, the Jewish people, were like, they went crazy. So I understand how unsaved people go crazy. And he says, you know what? Look what they're doing to me. They're going to do the same thing to you. And I get it. Like, you put a target on your back if you align with Christians, and that's okay. That's okay. Anyway, I start this whole like digital detox. Wow, I got a problem. I need to deal with this. Here's ways I'm going to deal with this. Whew, I'm on the right step. I'm on the right phase. Well, I'm going to be purposely vague with this kind of stuff. For people that will try to weaponize it through, let me get to that in a minute. There was another YouTube video. This guy's name is Taylor Welch, The Deep End with Taylor Welch. And he's got like, I don't know, 500,000 subscribers, something like that. And he goes, again, deep end, taboo type Christian, not just surface layer. And they talk about Christianity as, when you believe in Jesus, okay, that's like drinking milk. And you can live your life drinking milk, but if you want to get to the soft foods and the meat, you got to keep going with your knowledge, and you never get to a sense of completion where I'm like, I got this all figured out. You're battling sin constantly in the ways of the world, but my hope and trust goes in the Lord, and I also want to seek that knowledge, because wisdom, not just knowledge, people that have knowledge can be stupid, but you have to have wisdom of discernment. Anyway, I started listening to one of his studies called Self-Idolatry, Spiritual Bondage, Weaponizing Generosity. And I just randomly came across that. But he was telling his backstory, and I'm going, oh my gosh, that's me. I was addicted to the multiplication, addicted to the sales, never feeling like I had enough money, always feeling like I needed to get more. And there's an old adage of how much money is enough, and the answer is more. Like most people, even millionaires and very wealthy people, they feel like they're going to be poor, and they just want more and just keep striving, or they mismanage it and spend it on stupid stuff. Anyway, I had a real connection of what he was saying, and I realized God is not going to bless me or have these kinds of, and blessing is not always financial, blessings of being free of some of the things that each of us struggle with. I struggle with anxiety. I am a high-strung, what is that? Hummingbird brain. It's very hard for me to relax. And I was resonating with a lot of those things, and with the relaxation leads me into the next phase of my story, which is, I'm going to be purposely vague on this, which most of you will read between the lines, and I shouldn't talk about this, but again, there's power with sharing our weaknesses. My nighttime routine, from just downshifting from the cares of the world and social media, like, my block list is about 800 people, and it's not because of things that I'm out there doing. Granted, I like poking the bear with funny memes and stuff, but it enrages people. And if you have any side or anything that infuriates maybe the left or the right, even the right, people go freaking bonkers, and they keep that. They hold on to it for years, and they dog you in the groups, and those things affect my business. So they're on my mind. Plus, I could have 100 comments of positive stuff, and then I get some freaking mental crazy that just goes off on me, and I can't let it go in my brain. Anyway, my nighttime routine was doing something. I live in Michigan. That probably wasn't the best, but it was able to let me sit down, watch TV, and zone out till 11:30 at night. Which then, didn't give me a good sleep. I'm up thinking about all sorts of crazy stuff for hours at night. My wife normally has gotten up with the children, so then I wouldn't get up till 8:30, 9 o'clock, because I've retired and this is what I do for a living, which is awesome. But I always thought that when I got to the finish line of life, when I retired from my working for the man, because I was in law enforcement for 20 years, that I could play video games and not be accountable to people and have that just grind. But I became my own man, and I grinded like crazy, and I became a workaholic. But that negative pattern that I got into, again, maybe you know what I'm talking about, maybe you don't, and I have to be vague because it's not socially acceptable and people will weaponize it, and I need plausible deniability. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but I've seen and I've been around long enough to watch the ways of the world and the trickery of men. Well, I lost it, and I never lost my way of downshifting. And I'm like, what the where is it? It was that. It's like literally everything's happening together. Facebook shut down, reopened. God, what are you telling me to do? Oh, I got a problem with social media consumption. Boom, boom. The next thing in my life that holds a little bit of guilt and shame and hidden. Oh, I can't find it. Where is it? And this is, when my kids go to bed, wife's to bed, I can just relax, watch TV. Can't find it. And I went, oh my gosh, Lord. This is what next thing you're telling me. Next thing you need me to cleanse out of my life. And it would be so easy. I wish I didn't even want to talk about this because I just know people will judge me. But that's okay, because all I got to please is one. Like, you all can hold your preconceived ideas on me, and maybe some of you are struggling with your own thing. Everyone's struggling with something. And when I'm vulnerable enough, and I've watched other social media people talk about that same thing that I'm skirting around, and they get effing crucified. Especially if I watched people cry. People take screenshots, make memes of them, put them in the toy groups. And maybe not everyone's in toy groups that watches this. You might be watching and your hobbies or sports or whatever it is. But people are ruthless. But going back, there's power in talking about our problems, our insecurities, and there's hope at the end of the tunnel. So that goes away, and I go, yep, that needs to go. All right, God's telling me phase 2. Now, like if you ever take melatonin, you can get addicted to melatonin, meaning you can't fall asleep without it now. And even though it's over the counter, it's nothing, but you start using that, now your body doesn't produce the right things to make you go to sleep. Now I can't freaking sleep. 2 days of not being able to sleep makes you go cuckoo. And I just made a contract, not a contract, but God, I'm giving up my social media consumption to you. Now I can't just endlessly scroll and watch TV and downshift that way. So what do? I dive into the Word of God, and He takes me on some really, really awesome journeys, talking about Daniel and Joseph and Job, and I feel like I've been through the gamut, like financial health, physical health, pain beyond understanding, mental with anxiety, stuck. My best friend, family member, kind of like a betrayal, a separation, a loss that I dwelled on for years, every day, for hours, and did my best just to try to go, why is this happening? Like all these things have beat up on me, and I go, I can't do this alone. I need the Lord, and the Lord's the only one that can take me through this. And I realized I have to surrender these things to Him. And I've told you I've been sober, alcohol, 12 years. And that was when I went up for prayer at our church and said, release me of this. There's a whole video on that. You can watch it. And I haven't really been up since, other than when my neck issue was bad years ago and I still struggling with it. But they did an altar call again last Sunday, and I go, I got to go back up there. I got this. And another thing that guys struggle with, the lust of the eyes, that lust. And even they say it's the same as adultery, like the physical act and then the thinking about it act. Jesus says it's the same thing. And we tend to put sins on hierarchies. This sin's worth 10 points. And God's like, now, y'all have sin. Y'all need to be washed clean. And all those things were so scary to me to even think about. But when you really, and I watched the miracle happen with alcoholism, and I go, I freaking got to surrender this again. My love of money, my love of social media and addiction to it, the lust of the eyes and the unhealthy nature that takes over, the downshifting and relaxing of the mind, all things that you can rationalize. Well, at least I'm not doing this. At least I'm not doing this. And I did the same freaking thing when I was an alcoholic. I don't beat my wife. I got a job. We rationalize our sin and put it in, well, at least I'm not like that guy on Jerry Springer. It's still sin. God wants me to clean my closet. And he took a knockout punch of several things in a row that most of you, if you're still watching, which I highly doubt many people are still watching, that are non-Christians, or at least my mom's watching. This is embarrassing, but whatever. God goes, I need you to get rid of all these things. I need you to be holy. If you can be an influence for me and my kingdom, not just on social media, on day-to-day people, because my mind is just focused on when's the next deal, this toy thing, this sale, all this craziness just going on and on, or problems with my kids. And I adopted 2 children, and I got, there's issues. Any parent's gonna have issues with their kids, except the ones that are like, my kid's in the honor roll. I got some more challenging things going on with my kids, and I love them all the same. And God's showing me these things, and He's really directing my path. In the last 2-3 days, I'm getting the best sleep of my life. Oh my gosh, falling asleep now. It's only the first 2 days that were a little rough, and then now I'm just boom, hit that pillow. I'm exhausted. Plus my you can tell in my face. My Justin Carey face is a little thicker than it was about a year and a half ago. And that's from chilling on the TV 2 nights, 2 hours a night, or video games. I got sucked into Elden Ring, and eating chips, eating ice cream, being sedentary. And granted, there's a time and place, everything in moderation. I'm not turning into a saint, but I had some major issues in my life, and I knew they needed to go. I went up for prayer. I know I go into tangents, and I try to circle back around to what I was saying before, just how my mind works. I went up for prayer again. I said I need to work on, not only work on, I need them to be cleansed. I need another miracle, just like he did with alcoholism. Prayed over me. Yes, I cried. I grew up in the house where you don't cry, man, don't cry. There's probably only been a handful of times I've ever cried in my life, but it's becoming more frequent. And I know there's nothing wrong with crying. It's just when you ingrain something that deep, it's hard to break that habit. And I know God was freeing me. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to not slip again with one of those 4 areas that I'm working on. But the last few days, I've woken up at 6 a.m., no alarm. Like I said, I'm getting the freaking best sleep of my life. And it's before everyone gets up. And I remember Christian mentors of mine always saying, like, you got to get into the Word. You got to get into the Word. Like, you got to. Because if you don't, and I've been in the Word. Like, I know the Bible better than most. But knowing and applying it and letting it resonate and flow through you is 2 separate things. And starting your day off and not just listening to it because I'm on a car ride and I don't want to listen to the radio. My time with the Lord is important. And these last 2 mornings spent in reflection, worship, Bible study, prayer, and then doing some stretching as it is. Oh yeah, I forgot. I never got back to my waistline and my little chubby face getting a little bit bigger. And that's another thing. I'm like, I don't want to get diabetes. I need to take care of my body more, relaxing, eating all these chips. My wife is like on this incredible weight loss journey. She's been hustling, doing these Peloton workouts like every single day for over an hour. So I want to get into that. And I started to or I would make excuses because I'm so busy with toy sales that I didn't do my daily walk. Like I sporadically would walk 3 times a week for a good hour out in the woods. And that's where I do my best thinking. That's where I do, like, I can relax so much. But I'm realizing with the ringer turned off on my phone and notifications, oh my gosh, that helps me relax so much more. And it feels like my life's 1,000 times better than it was a week ago. And even though I still have Facebook restrictions on my account, like today I did a big sale of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle NECA figures, maybe 40 figures, whatever. Like nothing was moving. Stuff's not moving. I'm going, oh my gosh. Facebook is throttling down my algorithms. Even though I had my account restored, I still have some kind of hidden secret restrictions that I can't see or know what's happening, but I can tell because I still can't message people that are not my Facebook friends without going through a bunch of steps. And if I message more than like 2 in a 24-hour period, it did it to me today. It made it so my account is restricted from reaching out to more people that are not my Facebook friends. So I'm having all these people message on the groups going, hey, I want to buy this. Shoot me a message. I can't. And I'm telling people to come message me, but they have to go through all these steps. And I'm like referring them to Instagram. So like, it's freaking crazy. And I'm going, oh, God, please just let all these things sell after 2 hours of not selling hardly anything. A guy out of the blue goes, I'll buy them all. No negotiation, no nothing, just boop, here's $500. I'm like, okay. And then I go, golly gee, that's all me. No, it was right after I prayed. God help me with this situation. And normal me would jump onto the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and be addicted to the multiplication. Always striving to have more money. So if something bad happens. But I already learned that lesson, but I didn't learn it. When I had a giant nest egg last year, or the end of the year prior, I'm like, look at all this money I made from selling toys. A week after saying that, my retaining wall falls, $100,000, all that money gone, because God said that's your pride of your life. I'm going to take it from you. Do not put your hope and trust in your money, because it's gone. It'll just get burned right up. And I can't put my hope and trust in politics. No, because that's man. And we see what's going on in the ways of the world and all these stupid manipulation and enraging things. And I get caught up into it too. And that guy, the Taylor, what is his name again? Taylor Welch. Another thing that resonated with me, because I'll listen to podcasts. I get mad at what people are saying and how they're manipulated. And I want to argue with them and prove them wrong. And he alluded to that. He goes, my Christian fellow friends, why are you so caught up in learning and spending time pointing to the occult, pointing to the sinful realms and powers that man holds within our government, which in our systems? And and it sounds crazy. It's taboo to even some Christians when I don't like talking about that. I don't like talking about demons and that kinds of things. But it exists. You can't cherry pick the Bible. It's not all the feel-good parts. There's some crazy stuff that is happening. And I'm not making this video for me. Like, I want to share my journey. And this is already 28 minutes long. There's probably no one even watching anymore. I don't care if anybody watches it. But maybe there's one person that watches it, plants a stinking seed in their mind. 10 years from now, they're dealing with love of money, love of this, love of that. And they're like, that Justin guy was saying something similar. Maybe I will rewatch that. Could help someone. And I've had so many conversations about my faith with people as well that reach out to me. And the first thing I say is, don't be getting all these self-help books. You got to go straight to the Word. Don't get the complicated Bible that's thou, these, all these things that are purposely meant to make you zone off. I listen to the Word of Promise. It's a free app that you download, and it's a dramatized version of the Bible with all these voice actors and background sounds. It makes it sound like you're listening to a movie, and it engages your mind and lets you process and think about or really absorb it. And that's what I did in law enforcement. I was listening to the Bible for years and years and years. And it was my mentor, Mark P. Thanks, shout out to him. Me and him were cats and dogs when I first started. He was probably 15 years older than I was. He was a prankster, sharp tongue as all get out, would exploit my insecurities about alcoholism. We even had a battle royale, and he's like 6'4", big guy. When I was 22 years old, and we got into a wrestling match that kind of got a little too crazy in the locker room. He ended up ripping my shirt right off. Crazy story. But then we ended up becoming best friends, and he became my mentor. And other non-Christian police officers, especially early in my career, would take me aside and say, stay away from him. He's bad news. He's bad news. It was because of the light inside of him. And a lot of my own Christian toy friends that have drifted away from me because they go, oh, you're a Christian, so that puts you in this camp, and you hate these people. I'm like, I don't hate anybody. But I can't call sin for anything other than what it is. Because it's sin. But I'll love you just like I love my Christian alcoholic family member, because it's the same thing. We put sins in categories. And it's not our job to put them on, put people in the other box. Others are people that are less than. Because we're all less than. We're all in the same boat together on planet Earth. But he moved away, a couple hours away, got a real good leadership position. And while I was going through all this, I reached out to him, and coincidentally, it's not a coincidence, he goes, I'm actually in town. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, I'm watching a hockey game, my grandkid, blah, 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 come on out. And I was in the woods at the time walking. So I came out, and we ended up having fellowship and hanging out with his whole family for a good hour, and it strengthened me. And he was the one that was always in the beginning like, you gotta stay in the Word. And he was the one that got me listening to the audio Words of Promise Bible in my cruiser back when it was CDs that I would change out constantly. And yeah, God put special people in your life. Look for them. And if you're that special person, if you're that Christian, you don't need to be this super pastor to be able to go, all right, now I got all my stuff together, and now I can go out into the world. We're all in this world. Don't surround yourself with just like-minded people, because that's stupid. It's a lot of Christians just huddle up and OK Corral Christian, and then they put, oh, those people, let's stay away from them. You got to be around them, because we're a them too. There's one thing that makes us different. Just one thing is going, hey, God of the Bible, that's real. And you got to follow these very easy things, like believe Jesus died on the cross. Check mark. Believe he died for your sins. Check mark. Boom. Easy. Now, if you want to progress and level up, a few things you got to do. And that's why you got to go into the Bible and find out for yourself, and find those communities of people, and all you have to do is pray for them. He'll put you in touch with them. And I know a lot of you struggling. I mean, I scroll Facebook and I see Facebook friends hurting for all variety of reasons, and I know pain. I live with pain. I was born in the pain. I was born in the darkness. I'm gonna edit that out, and that's gone. I was trying to do Bane, but it didn't work. I don't know where God's going to lead me. And I know this quickly turned into a God, and I'm going to lose all these subscribers, and I'm going to be labeled as a crazy Christian. That's okay. If it all comes down tomorrow, today, every social media, all my friends, everyone turns their back on me, it's okay. I'll be fine with it. Because God will put those things on purpose in my life to guide and direct my path. And I don't know where my path is going yet. And that's the fun part about it. Because if I knew all the final destination, which I know the final destination, which makes it so I don't have any fear of death whatsoever. I'm not hurrying toward it because I want to stay healthy. I don't want to die early. I'm not going to try to do reckless things, even though I can't guarantee that. I kind of have some thrill-seeking attributes in me. Hence the skydiving, career in law enforcement, which things I would tell you that I did and saw, no one would believe me. And I'm leaning toward, because you're watching my toy social media, my life, and probably some type of specialized social media channel that just would be more appropriate for these long format things, and then bring other guests on that are even people that are totally different from me and have some good conversations. And I don't have all the answers, and that's why even never mind. Oftentimes when people argue with me, my knowledge base comes from biblical knowledge, because the social norms and values are ever changing. We think we're right, we think we're enlightened, but we are the exact same stupid that we were 2,000 years ago. The same people that were led out of Egypt by Moses, the same people through the Renaissance, the same people 100 years ago. People don't even understand the atrocities that happened 100 years ago. And we're scared that we're marching toward those same things. And history does have a habit of repeating itself. And if it does, okay. Okay. Because my hope, my fear was always based on the what ifs. That's where anxiety comes from. But what if? Anything. There's endless possibilities. And I always love theorizing and talking about end time prophecies. Those are things I want to dive into more, not on this video. It's very fascinating stuff. Endless stuff. It's called the Living Bible for a reason, because now that I'm in a different phase of my life, one verse could mean totally different things than it did to me 5 days ago, 5 years ago, when I was 15, whenever. Because it changes, it lives. It's like an onion, all those different layers. I didn't really understand where this video was going to go. I do understand that most people that have ears will not hear, and some wisdom for people that have hardened their hearts. They tuned me out a long time ago. They're not watching anymore. But all I can tell you, I don't have all the answers. I'm just on this journey like all of you, but I'm noticing some things, and I'm real thankful for where I am now. And it's only been a week, so I can't wait to see where it's going to be in a month and a year. And it could be like the Job story, where everything's taken from me, but he can't take my hope and trust in the Lord. And I want to instill that in me. I want to offer encouragement and hope to you guys. So get plugged in, walk into that church, jump into that Bible, pray. Thank you all. Should I post this video? Ugh. Might as well. See? I love you guys. Take care.